Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking to you about what a severance from Chevron could look like in some of the financial planning considerations. My name is Stephen Chambers and I'm a wealth manager at Willis Johnson & Associates. So a severance from Chevron has three parts: a cash payout, retiree medical benefits, and then your stock options, your LTIPs. We're going to go into each individually to discuss what you could receive. So if you want to know the details on what a severance could look like, log into Benefit Connect, pull up your information, and there should be details on the cash payout and your retiree medical options, etc. A typical cash payout as a severance from Chevron is generally 2 weeks of pay for every year of service, up to a maximum of 1 year pay. So for example, if your base is $200,000, you've been at Chevron for 20 years, your payout would be approximately $150,000. However, we've seen current severances look slightly different. Instead of 2 weeks, you're getting 3. 1 year maximum, so that's the same, but there's also a minimum of 12 weeks of payout. So based off our previous illustration, $200,000 of a base, 20 years of service. In that scenario, your payout would be $200,000. So more generous payouts is what we have been seeing, so that's a good thing. The most immediate action item, if you're being severed, let's say mid-year or in the fall, is we want to make sure we're taking advantage of maxing out our 401k, our ESIP, while we still can. As you can see from the illustration, there's different sources to consider. The employee contribution, up to $30,500, and then there's the after-tax component, which goes beyond the scope of this video, but the key takeaway is if you're going to be severed prior to the year end, let's make sure we're getting the most out of our 401k while we still can. The other two huge benefits to consider is what to do with your pension and your RRP, or your retirement restoration plan, for those who qualify. The pension, as you may recall, has two components: either a lump sum or an annuity. The lump sum is a single payout that's tax-free if you roll it to an IRA, and the annuity is a steady fixed income stream for the rest of your life or you and your spouse's life. So the question to determine is, which one do I take? For most folks that lean towards the lump sum, and they started with Chevron prior to 2008, keep in mind interest rates have an inverse relationship with your lump sum. If interest rates go up, your lump sum goes down, and vice versa. We put out a great video that goes into more detail on how a drop in rates could impact your pension. I highly recommend that you check that out. Rates go up, lump sum goes down. Rates go down, lump sum goes up. The other thing to keep in mind is really when to take it. Many people are unaware of this, but the interest rates used to determine your lump sum amount has a 3-month look-back period. So for example, if you retire or are severed, let's say in February 2025, the interest rates used are determined based off September, October, November 2024. Why does that matter? We are in a period where rate cuts are potentially coming up soon along the horizon. So if there's a rate cut, let's say in December or January, a significant rate cut, and you choose to retire in February, that rate cut is not factored into your pension lump sum. So just something to keep in mind when choosing your retirement or severance date. Healthcare. So this is a huge concern for a lot of clients, is what are my healthcare options if I'm severed from Chevron? And there are three. You have three options. And this is outlined here in the summary plan description. One, you could continue to be enrolled in your current healthcare benefits through Chevron. Two, you can enroll in Cobra, or three, neither, right? So some combination of both. But those are your three options. How do you qualify for retiree medical benefits in retirement from Chevron? The two main qualifications, guys, that I see is, one, you have to be age 50 or older, and two, you have to have 10 or more years at Chevron. So generally most folks qualify, right? That's not the issue, whether or not folks qualify. It's how much will it cost. And this graph kind of illustrates that for us. The cost of your health care will be determined on two things: your age plus your years of service. So let's say, for example, you're 55 and you have 20 years of service. Then you have 75 points, right? 50 plus 25. If we look down here at the graph, the far left-hand side, 75 points equates to 87.5%, or 65%, based off the scale that we're using. For most folks, you're going to be under the 90-point scale. There are a few select folks that would be eligible for the 80-point scale, but just most likely you're under the 90-point. So what does that mean? You have 75 points under the 90-point scale. That's 65%. That means Chevron is going to cover 65% of the employer portion of your premium. Right now, they're covering 100%. In retirement, they'll only cover 65. So you're on the hook for the remaining 35, in addition to the employee piece. So again, it's just important to understand what the cost of healthcare is going to look like based off your age and years of service, and whether or not that makes sense for you and your family. LTIPs. For the most part, there's not an acceleration of vesting. I heard other folks say at other companies that if you're severed, that company will then kind of accelerate the vesting schedule for your LTIPs or your stock options and whatnot, and that's just not the case. There's different criteria, and that criteria, very similar to your healthcare, is based off your age and years of service. Keep that in mind. We're happy to share that information with you, but based off your age and years of service will determine the proration of your vesting on your shares. The recurring question I receive from Chevron employees is, what will my income streams look like in retirement, and how does that impact my taxes? For a typical Chevron employee, you have great benefits, and a lot of those payouts kind of stockpile in retirement, the year of retirement and the year after. So for example, in 2024, let's say we retire from Chevron, you will get your salary, your bonus payout, stock options payout maybe, and then you might elect to receive your pension. And then in 2025, you might receive a residual bonus, your RRP might pay out, and of course your pension continues. And then in 2026 and beyond, you're primarily just receiving your pension income, and then 2031, let's just say you hit full retirement age and then Social Security. So completely typical income stream for a Chevron employee, but at the end of the day, this is very tax inefficient. And what that looks like is this U-shaped curve where taxes and income is high at retirement, kind of levels off while you're receiving just a pension and maybe Social Security, but then it picks up again near age 73 and 75 when you're required to take out distributions from your IRAs, etc. Again, it's a U-shaped curve, and what we want to do is smooth this out. And what that looks like is this. It's more of a barbell for those who go to the gym. At retirement, there's only so much we can do. Taxes are still going to be high because you're receiving a base and a bonus. But then what we really want to do is leading into retirement is smooth out through careful timing of some of these elections to later years, right? So that we're smoothing out the income tax and saving you money over time, right? And then there's other strategies that we can talk about via Roth conversions, etc. But the name of the game, guys, is to smooth out your distributions by doing strategic elections of your benefits so that we're saving you thousands of dollars in taxes over time. And the last thing I want to talk about to you guys today is your concentration in Chevron, if you have any. A lot of clients love Chevron. They understand the business better than I do, and so they hold a lot of Chevron stock. And the reason that can be risky, especially for someone who's going to be retiring here soon, is because energy stocks, and Chevron's not excluded from this, are very volatile. I love this periodic table because it shows different sectors and how they performed over time. The big takeaway, and we'll circle this for you, is that energy stocks over the last 3 years have killed it. They're the number one asset class. But if you look at the last 10 years, they're one of the worst. They're the worst asset class. However, they have the most volatility at about 53%. So short term, they've killed it. Long term, they're the most volatile and they're the worst performing. Specifically Chevron, the volatility as measured by what we call standard deviation, how volatile is something, is about 28%. And this is looking at the last 3 years. So basically, there's a 67% chance at any given time that your portfolio can be up or down 28%. So for a $2 million portfolio, there's a 70% chance at any given time the portfolio can drop to about 1.4 million, or it could rise to about 2.6. So the main takeaway, guys, is that's a lot of volatility. You don't want that if your portfolio that you have generally been contributing towards now becomes the source of your income. So the big takeaway is If you're going to be severed, you're thinking about retiring soon, what is your plan to de-risk your concentration in Chevron? This video is really all about the what behind a severance from Chevron. We have another video that we'll link to the description below that talks about the why. Right? Should you accept a severance from Chevron? Are you financially independent? And how do you strategically time some of the elections that we discussed so that you're minimizing taxes? Highly recommend you check that out. We'll link it to the description below. If you like this content, please like and subscribe and follow us on social media to stay in touch. Thank you.